Hey everybody, last week on my other channel I did a gameplay video of Conflict Middle East, and today I think I will do a review on it. Also, I've been getting pressure from evil Satan Cheney here, who apparently wants a go at the game. So let's check it out. Well, let's open the YARG file on this game and see what it's about. So, Conflict for DOS, as the name suggests, is a Middle East political simulator. It was made in 1990 by a fellow named David Eastman for Virgin Interactive. I did a little bit of digging online and managed to find out that in order to program Conflict, David Eastman had to learn to code C, which apparently he had not done before, so that's all I could find, really. Virgin Interactive is part of the Virgin Group, which, unless you've been living under a rock for the last 30 years or so, you would know was founded by Richard Branson. If you don't know who Richard Branson is, imagine someone took Elon Musk and spliced in Donald Trump's hair and Roger Moore's vocal cords. Add to that mix an unhealthy obsession with hot air balloons, and you have Richard Branson, or Loretta, as some people like to call him. So for several decades now, Virgin's been putting its mushroom stamp of a logo on any sort of product or business it can find. Virgin's growing portfolio of companies include airplanes that fly, spaceships that don't, really bad cell phones, and even worse colas. With a name like Virgin, you'd think they'd get involved in like the sex toy business or something, you know, like dildos and butt plugs and lube and stuff like that, but I digress. Conflict, as the title screen suggests, is the Middle East political simulator. Basically, in Conflict, you are the newly elected Prime Minister of Israel, and so, of course, basically your goal is to stay in power as long as possible. There are 4 major countries that border Israel that you have to worry about. Those are Egypt, Syria, Jordan, and Lebanon. Of those 4 countries, only 2, Egypt and Syria, are a real threat to your survival in the game. There are 3 other countries in the game that you can also interact with, and that's Iran, Iraq, and Libya. However, they're not important to your being able to win the game. The only thing they do is they can get into fights with some of your neighbors, which can help you, but also they can develop things like nuclear weapons, which, if they use them, pretty much triggers World War III. So you kind of want to, topple those guys also if you have the chance. Conflict is a turn-based game where each turn lasts a month in game time. Each turn in Conflict can be broken into 2 parts. The first part is diplomacy/intelligence, and the second would be purchasing weapons and strategic actions. So at the beginning of the month, you get to select diplomacy actions for every country on the that you interact with. And basically you only have 3 choices. You can either improve relations, spoil relations, or maintain the current level of relations. Under intelligence options, you also have a couple things you can do. In the case of Egypt that you're seeing right here, there isn't an insurgent group, so you can set one up. But in most other cases, there already be an existing insurgent group, which you can fund or support the insurgents, or support the government in getting rid of the insurgents, or just do nothing at all. Later on in the game, as some of these states start to fail, there are other options such as starting a coup or assassinate the leader. Once a year, you'll be given the option to change defense spending. This is also the time where you'll be receiving your foreign aid from the U.S., assuming that you were friendly enough with the U.S., meaning you didn't start a bunch of wars and stuff. Also, occasionally, usually in July, they have summits that you can attend where you can talk about setting up a Palestinian homeland and stuff like that. The second phase of Conflict is the strategic section. That's where you can get to do things like continue funding the nuclear program, which takes a few months to do. It says 3 months, but it's usually much longer. You can also do things like purchase weapons, depending on if you're really good friends with the U.S. or not. Usually they have the biggest selection of weapons, but if not, you can always go to the private dealer. Also, you can do things like check out your strategic actions, where you can, let's say, for instance, in this case, you have a conflict with Syria right now, and it shows you how the battle's going, which apparently this particular one I'm losing at the moment. The final strategic option you have is dealing with the Palestinian problem. Basically, this will allow you to post a brigade to the West Bank to deal with Arab protests. Once you have either taken over or overthrown the countries that border Israel, you've won the game, and you'll be presented with this nifty score screen. Well, evil Satan Cheney's been begging all week to play this game, so I better give him a chance. I mean, Cheney running a country in the Middle East, what could possibly go wrong? Perhaps letting evil Satan Cheney run Israel wasn't such a great idea. It seems he caused a nuclear holocaust. I thought that just the sheer fun and replayability of the game was enough to give Conflict a score of B-. The gameplay, yeah, it's overly simplified and it doesn't have any sound at all. But hey, it's a fun game, so I think that score is pretty appropriate. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my video. If there's a specific game you'd like me to review, drop me a note in the comment box below. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. If you want to see more of my stuff, why not subscribe? Also, if you really want to, you can support me on Patreon. Thanks for watching.